Hey guys, Nick Tian here, and welcome to Geek Play Sleep Radio, or GPS Radio for short. Suddenly, I'm using my radio voice, but that's okay. This is for the week of September 30th, 2019. This is the last episode before I'm gonna end it all because that sounded pretty grim. I'm gonna end it all because Destiny 2 Shadowkeep is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, that would mean that I won't have time to actually do any of these things because I'll be grinding the hell out of it. Sorry about that. A little bit of cough coming back from the still lingering due to the haze and all that. So excuse me if I have to take a quick pause to drink a cup of water or something like that. But yeah, it's been raining lately, so that's great. Getting rid of the haze and all that. I still wonder if the fires are still burning in Indonesia, because it doesn't really matter if it starts raining here if the fires are still burning. But yeah, those kind of news, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So what is Geek Play Sleep Radio? I think for now, the primary goal of this is just to basically talk about video games, a little bit about geek culture, and basically share a little bit about what's been going on with my life. Not in that order, and also, sometimes maybe priorities might change in the future. But for now, I really want to just focus more towards games because, that's something that I'm interested in, and I don't feel like I have enough avenues to actually talk about it. And I also miss I grew up basically, during the heyday of gaming podcasts where you have One Up Yours, you have the One Up Show and things like that, and you have GFW Radio, you have what are the other names of the podcasts that are out there? Because there was one for the EGM Now crew, all the different anime, World of Warcraft podcasts. Basically, I grew up with oneup.com, and I miss those days, and I want to bring some of it back with what I do. And with one of those things is obviously doing podcasts. Right now, podcast is a haven, I think. It's a really interesting tool that celebrities have been using to actually get their voices out there, because like the news said, this is going to be sarcastic, but the news is basically said, oh, you know what, was it Conan O'Brien? I can't remember. Was it Jay Leno or someone was basically called the savior of, it could be completely wrong about this. Someone was called the savior of podcasts because, he started doing it when podcasting has been going on for ages by small groups of people, just coming into a room and talk about these things. And right now, obviously, it's only me. So hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get some guests to come on and just to be able to talk about, things that interest them, especially if in regard to gaming and geek culture. So that's a pretty long way of just saying, I just want to talk about games, and I wanted to talk about it because I am pretty, I wouldn't say ugly, but, not well suited for the camera, the video camera. So I want to do something that I could just get it on with. And podcasting was is something that I thought, why not? Why don't I try it out? See how it works. It's another creative outlet compared to visuals, where there are so many things to take note of, lighting and all that. And that's a huge ask. And streaming is something that requires a set amount of time, which I may or may not have in the near future. So with that, I thought podcasts is something that I'm interested in doing. I get it that sometimes some things that you're interested in might not turn out quite as well if you are trying to do it on your own. But why not give it a shot anyways? Again, so what has been up with my life? I think we're gonna go in that order. What has been up with my life? pretty much been busy with things outside of geek culture and all that. Of course, there are certain news that really interest me, but yeah, there's I think it was nice to just spend a couple of days disconnected from the world for a while. Went up to Rawang to just in case you don't know, and you're listening to this, in case you don't know, I'm actually recording this from Malaysia, and I'm a Malaysian. So, hey, come, if you're Malaysian who likes to listen to podcasts, come and support this podcast. Okay, this is supposed to be for the end, but I mean, if you don't know, just to let you know. Okay, so back to my story. I went up to Rawang for a wedding. And yeah, it was, I had to disconnect myself, Of course, I brought my Switch, but there wasn't any internet connection when I was up there. And I was staying at this place called Secret Garden or something like that, which is, it was a short getaway from the hustle and bustle of everyday life here in KL. And it gave me time to just unwind, disconnect for a while. Of course, there were still people there, so it was you kind of still had to be on tap, I guess. Basically, you're saying. I don't think that's the right phrase, but it doesn't matter. And that was basically my weekend, which was basically just going out there to see the world for a while. So, which is why I didn't manage to record a lot of stuff, because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about doing recording on Saturday, but did not manage to actually do so. And what else? I went to watch Ad Astra as well on Wednesday, and I think it was I think for my opinion, it was a pretty good movie. It kind of evokes a lot of the apocalypse. People will say, Apocalypse Now, Heart of Darkness, the story of one man going into the jungle, to the wilderness, to find someone who has gone insane and taken over something. And that was basically the premise of the movie, which if I can say this out loud, you're gonna know what's gonna happen. So I'm sorry, and spoilers, a bit too late, but spoilers. And visually, because it had the DP, the director of photography, from the guy who worked with Christopher Nolan a lot. So it had a lot of the same, I wouldn't say same visuals, but it felt more, not necessarily more or less the same, but it felt very similar to a Christopher Nolan movie. The style, the energy that is given out from by looking at it. And it's a 35mm film, so there's a little bit of a graininess to the movie that makes it, that grounds the situation a little bit more. Even though I think in the movie it says like it's taking a couple of years in the future, but because of the film that they use, it made it feel like, oh, this is happening right in front of me, and the visuals, everything, seeing the other planets out there. Of course, they took their own creative interpretation, creative liberties with these scenes and the planets and all that, but it still felt very real, and it basically, it's because for me, I think I'm someone who loves to get away in a sense, like, the movie spoke to me because I wanted to. There are times where I would feel like, this, having so many people around, it's always great to just be alone in the world. And Brad Pitt's character was kind of my entry point into that, which was he was someone who was logical, who was very proficient at what he did. He was a very professional, but this situation forced him to be in a place where he had to face himself, and he had to face his own, that he was someone who was like, I might not need anyone in this world. This world is just like that. And yeah, it's a very human story, even though what the situations that is that's happening to the main character is like completely out there, but human situations of wanting to connect, wanting to be with one another is very prevalent in the movie. Okay, I think that's moving on from that. I think how would you move on from? Actually, I wanted to say like in that movie as well, because you had a lot of names of planets and areas of planets. It fit in very well to the game that I've been playing recently, which is Warframe. And now we're moving on to the what I've been playing portion of this podcast. In case you don't know what podcasts and how they work, but I'm moving on to the gaming portion of this podcast, and I would say that one of the things that really it kind of happened at the right time, watching Ad Astra and playing this game Warframe, and it was just like, what, I've seen these names on these planets before. Those are, and obviously those are the real names given to them by NASA and people like that. So it was very like, oh, okay, I know this part of Mars, this is a name that was given to the area that they landed in, and I was like, yeah, okay, I've heard that before by playing Warframe. Obviously, Warframe is a bit more fantastical than Ad Astra, but yeah. So Warframe, it's a MMO shooter, third-person MMO shooter, and it's I wouldn't say it's gotten its hooks into me, but it's a game that I've been playing recently a lot because I think it's very not therapeutic, but it's something like therapeutic. It is very, well, at the beginning stages anyway, it is very like, this is how it's gonna happen. There isn't any stakes involved, is what I mean to say. The game is very, just come in, shoot stuff, kill the enemies, do the mission, get out, repeat, sometimes 5, 10, 20 times until you have gotten what you're supposed to get from that mission. And sometimes when you start to get, I think a lot of people when they play this game, they know it's like, after you level up your weapons, you might want to change to another one to get more points so that you can unlock certain more stuff. So it's very like, repetitive game. I would say it's a very repetitive game that, because of how the loot drop works, how you're supposed to play it for a very long time, so you're not supposed to get everything very quickly. It makes it something that you do while I won't say it's like Diablo. I wanted to say like it was Diablo, but it was it was a podcast game. I would say I can't really think about what word to use because I have a bit of a headache right now, but it's like, it's a podcast game because you're literally doing whatever on the screen. You're not really putting 100% of your brain power into playing it, which is fine. I'm not, it's not a slight against the game, it's not to bash it or anything. But sometimes, you play Civilization and games like that because you want to think a little bit about what you're doing and whether or not things have permanence and all that, things like that. But Warframe is obviously the opposite, which is everything is open to you, which is a bit, I would say, for me sometimes it's a bit annoying because of a lack of time to actually invest into these kind of games. Time sink games, I guess you will call it. Invest the time into these games, and you feel a little bit like, man, I really wish they would tell me like, okay, please go here, go there. There is a little bit more of that, especially with the later updates, which is to tell you like, okay, you're supposed to do this and this and this so that you will unlock this. But going through the planets, it is still very open and saying, okay, do you prefer this type of missions? So you go to do this and you go to do that. And, whether or not you are strong enough to tackle the situations is always something that you have to try it out first. Oh, you can't do it? Okay, fine. We go and do something else to see if we could tackle these kind of things. I'm about How far am I into the game? Well, if I were to look at the quest screen, I think I'm halfway through the game, and even at this point, I'm still unlocking a number of stuff to grind for. For example, the most recent one I think they added recently is the focus lens. Focus lens, which is basically kind of like disciplines that you get from certain games, certain MMO type games to grind for. And the one that I have, I don't remember the name because they're all, I don't think they're Chinese or Japanese, but they sound vaguely East Asian kind of names. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. And mine was like defense, but of course, like I said, that this game is time sink. Oh, to unlock the first thing within this tree, this discipline tree is 25,000 points, and you only get like maybe 1,000 points if you're lucky on a mission. And that was like, man, everything is a grind in this game, which is a bit of a shame. I think one of the main reasons I wanted to start this podcast as well was because I wanted to move on to certain games. To play more different type of games so that I can actually talk about them and feel a little bit bad if I stuck with one single game. So yeah, it's I think that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about this more, just so that I can get it out of my brain and then talk more about something else. So that's Warframe. That's one of the games I'm playing. Another game that I've been I just got into was because I just found out that I could actually earn the rewards in the game. Is Tetris 99. And Tetris 99, if you don't know, is a Tetris game, but you're going against, I think, 98, and you are the 99 player, I think. I don't think it's Tetris 100. I think it's, you versus another 98 Tetris players. And it's an intense, like, Tetris game that I don't think I've won any. People are getting really, really good at it, and I don't think I'm going to be winning any more games in the near future. But why I got back into it was because of they actually updated it into 2.0 version. And one of the updates, one of the things that they added into the game is rewards, daily quests, I think you will call it daily quests, and then you get tickets. And these tickets, actually, you could use them to buy like skins for your Tetris, your layout. So far, what I've read up is basically each day you have 4 quests that you can try to achieve, but 2 of them will be locked out if you don't have if you didn't buy the season pass. I don't think it's a season pass. I think it was just an expansion. So if you didn't buy the expansion, you could only earn two tickets a day. But if you had the expansion, you could earn 4, and each skin costs about 15 tickets. So these are daily missions that you can get. So you could get either 2 or 4 tickets a day, and so I think about like 15 or a month you would earn 2 skins if you're really going for that. Or if you had the expansion, it would be 4 tickets. So 1 month, 30 days would be 120 tickets. That doesn't sound right, does it? 120 tickets, that's a lot. Probably. That's probably right. 120 tickets compared to the 60 that you get. Yeah, that's right. So 120, and maybe you can unlock 4 skins. 4 skins, if you wanted to. So I've been jumping back into that because, I'm the kind of person that likes these daily quest kind of stuff, because it will mean that, you just had something to do per day, and you just had to do it, and then you could just stop for the rest of the day. Especially if it, means that you can go forward to do something. It's a very MMO thing, you know. When I was playing Final Fantasy 14 a few months ago, it's a very MMO thing that is like, oh, you get what is this? You get points, or you get, you know, cards or tickets or yeah, something like that to exchange for something further down the line. So it makes you go back into the game over and over again, you know, just to try and unlock everything. For me, I'm a completionist, so I like to unlock stuff, and, you know, having something to do every day is just, yeah, you know, if I could do it within half an hour, yeah, I'm just gonna play during lunch or before dinner, have a quick break and just, you know, get it over with. Okay, that's a good Nintendo game, you know, Tetris 99. That is a good Nintendo game. Now for a bad one, which is Mario Kart World Tour. I think I have the name correct. Mario Kart World Tour. And that is for your mobile phone. It's a mobile game. It's, firstly, positives first. It's very pretty. Oh, it's just Mario Kart Tour. Okay, sorry. It's very pretty. You know, when you get into the game, when you play it, it looks very pretty. You have a lot of the tracks from Mario Kart games. So the game itself looks amazing. And, you know, you get a lot of characters, updates. So for example, now is the Pauline. I think that's what you call it. Yeah, Pauline is here. So she gets a spotlight and you get these things. But sad to say, that's where it starts to go off the rails a little bit. So what happens is that you have okay, first off, mobile game. So for a lot of us who play mobile games, I say that most of you will know that, okay, I think I get what you mean. Okay, actually, maybe that's not fair. And that's not right. So to explain a little bit more, okay, so first off, it is very gacha focused. You know, even compared to other games, I feel. Actually, maybe not, but because you know, some of the gacha games I play also has the same mechanic. First off, to get a maximum amount of points for a track or a race, of course you have to do well. You know, you have to use your abilities. You have to use well, not abilities. Use the items on the track. You know, do turbos, jumps, drifts, and all that. That's one part of the game, and that's fine. You know, those parts are fine. I'll touch on drifting a little bit later on, but you know, that idea is fine, meaning that the more things you do on the track, the more points you get. And I think a lot of games actually do that because, you know, if you do well, yeah, you get rewarded. For the first 5 or 6 circuits, that is the case. What happens after that is that you start to hit a wall. Meaning that the points required to get 5 stars start to become really absurd. Like, for example, where I am now, I need 4,500 points to get 5 stars. And to do so, you know, if we were to win, that's almost like 2,000 stars. You know, first place is 2,000 stars. That's 2,000 points. And then using a character maybe gives you 400. So you got a character, you got a card, and you got a, you know, the flying part of the card. So that's 3 of them, so 1,002. So at least you would get around 3,600 points. That's 3,500 points. So where does the 1,000 points come from? You know, doing a boost, everything like that, they give you maybe around 30, 40, 50 points. You know, and max will be about, I don't know. Even if you do really, really well, it's another 500 to 600 points. So if you did really well with one character, you could get up to maybe 4,000. So where is the 500 coming from? Using the example that I am talking about now, where is the 500 coming from? Guess where? It's by having a character that is in that circuit, or in that race specifically, is a character that race has chosen to be a multiplier. So your characters can be multipliers. Your card can be a multiplier. No, actually, sorry. I got it wrong. Your character is a power-up multiplier. So meaning if you use a character that fits into that race, you might get up to 3 power-ups per item box. You start with 1, but if you got a character that fits into that race, that race has selected, you would get 3 items from an item box. If you had a card that was selected for this, then you would get at least up to 3 times multiplication bonus for that race. So that means at the very least you need to have at least the card that fits the race. Okay, let me check again. Yeah, times 2. Sorry. So the card gives you times 2 bonus, up to times 2 bonus, and then the flyer thing gives you up to combo bonus times 3, and it improves the time. It extends the time that the bonus, the combo goes on as well. So you need to have at least those 3 things so that you could keep the bonus going. Once the bonus is going, getting the maximum amount of score, you require the card, and then to do something that could extend the bonus, extend the combo, you would use a character which has 3 items. So you could throw up, an item or 2 when you need to, when the bonus is ending. So it no longer depends a lot on skill, but on, what you have unlocked. And because it's a gacha game, it becomes very, I guess it becomes very, it will make you, it is very obvious that you can't get to that point because you don't have the combo bonus, you don't have the bonus time and combo time, you don't have the multiplier, and you don't have the items. So that's like, it makes you feel very deficient very quickly. Like in the early stages, it's still like, oh, okay, I might not be able to do, to exploit, well, not say exploit, but to make use of the systems. You could just still play the game, and getting first place would get you enough points to be a champion, to get enough points for 5 stars. But not even halfway through the first area, and you're like, oh man, I'm not ever going to reach the point where I need to have enough points to get the stars. And that's frustrating because, yes, it makes it so obvious that you need certain things that is random. If you were to tell me that, oh, these things you could get by playing the game, I would say, oh yeah, fine, yeah, sure. But these are random drops. Oh, this race, the person who gives you three items is Pauline, for example. Oh, great, Pauline is a rare character, so I'm not gonna get that. Of course, there's a 2 times, but hey, you know what? If I wanted an easier ride, I would just get, a 3 times and 2 times and all that. So it's very, it's very, it doesn't hide its mobile gameness very well. Like for example, another game that I was playing, I wouldn't say it, because it was a demo, and that's why I didn't want to bring it up. A Contra Rogue Core. That's a very mobile feeling action game, because you need to increase your stats, and each of the stats increase by increments of like point something, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and you have to replay levels just to grind out these stuff. And those you could grind out, but for this it's like, okay, how much is it for 10 box? It's I think 45 rubies, and you get 1 ruby per day or something like that. So you get 5 rubies per day. So maybe in 9 days, a week and a plus, you would get enough rubies for a 10 draw. So that's one of the main things with that kind of sticks me the wrong way with Mario Kart. The other thing that sticks me a little bit, in the wrong way as well is the handling of the cards. Until now, I hope that I'm wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong, but I might not be, is that your character actually gets better as you level up. And how do you level up? You level up by getting duplicates of your current character, the characters that you have. So, for example, I like to use a Koopa Trooper right now because I feel that it has the best handling. I have a feeling, but even the best handling is like kind of sucks because you'll still be hitting walls all over the place, and you're like wondering, why am I not doing well at all? And the controls don't really help because there is this because we're playing this vertically, so there's not enough space for you to actually have a lot of nuance in the terms of moving your fingers. Like my phone is about 2 inches wide, less than 2 inches wide. So that isn't a lot of space to have a lot of nuance doing drifting. I could still, barely control my drift, but it's usually small drift or a lot of drift. The distance required for the game to track that as well is very big. Meaning that I would have to start all the way. The game tells you to start from the middle and then left and right, sure. But for me, it feels more like I have to start all the way to the left of let's say I have a drift to the right. I will start all the way from the left of the phone, slowly drag it all the way to the right, to the middle for the first part of the drift. And if it is a very sharp corner, sharp turn, I have to slowly inch my thumb all the way to the other end of the screen just for it to trigger the second part of the drift. I don't know if this is right, but this is how it feels to me. So it doesn't feel very, very fun to do because you're always, you're thinking like, okay, I can make this by going from one end to the other end. No, it doesn't, because if I were to go from one end to the other end, it will just, slowly just wait there, and it's like, okay, are you gonna boost or not? And most of the time it doesn't, because you're not slowly moving your finger across, which doesn't make sense because you are I'm playing at 150cc right now. If you pay for the season pass, you get 200cc, and 150 and 200cc, you don't really have the time to slowly move your finger across, your thumb across to the other side of the screen and just say, oh yeah, okay, I'm just going to slowly move this across and then hopefully move it a little bit more so that the game will track that you are making a sharp turn. That is not how you play Mario Kart. I think most people will be playing like, oh okay, I'm going to the left and it's a sharp turn. I push my finger all the way to the left. That kind of thing. But what really, because I have not unlocked enough characters to know this yet, I'm afraid that handling is a skill that can be improved by having more, or by leveling up your character, which is where the gacha comes in again. Because obviously to get more of that character, you need to go through the gacha system. So if you are unlucky, you might have, a character which you like to use, like for example for me, a Koopa Trooper that I like to use. I might never ever be able to use him after the first area or first few places, because I might never get a duplicate for him. And you need 2 for the first level. And level 2 is I think maybe 4. So you need a lot of them. It's not just, just get 1 and you level up. No, you need 2 for the beginning, the first level. And I'm not sure how much you need for the 4th or for the 3rd and for the 4th level. I'm hoping not anymore. And of course you could say like, yeah, if you get better handling, yes, I could. But again, it's not the best handling game out there. I could try and turn gyro on, but yeah, no. I think that's a bit too much already. Okay, time for me just to take a quick breath. Let's see what's after this. That's pretty much the games that I've been playing. So why don't I just take a quick break and then come back. Alright, and we're back with the news. So we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of geek culture and gaming news. We're going to try to I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to pick a few that was interesting, and unless I have the time, we'll do a bit more. Okay, so first off, first news that I would like to say is Spider-Man is back. Spider-Man is back in the MCU. Last month, I think. It was the beginning of this month. Time flies very, very quickly. Sorry, just had a drink of water and burping a little bit. Time flies a lot, right? Okay, I don't know why, but okay. Time, yeah, it's at the beginning of the month we had news that Sony and Disney were unable to come to terms with come to terms with the money share, I guess, of the Spider-Man franchise, which is kind of weird because Spider-Man is a Marvel franchise. But anyways, what we're trying to say is that they are unable to come to terms with the share of the profits of the movies. Disney right now, I think in the past when I read it, is 5%, and 5% of the movie profits, but they get the merchandise, while Sony is able to maintain the rights of having Spider-Man under their banner. And I think Disney was trying to negotiate more of the share of the movie, of the profits, and Sony was saying no. Kevin Feige is unable to settle. Was too busy to do them well. So that's a lot of he said, she said, blah 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 blah. And obviously it was such a huge news that a lot of people were talking about it. And I think that was what Sony and Disney were trying to do. Try to get people to just make noise, get it back into their, memories and all that. Just as the digital copy of a digital and Blu-ray of Spider-Man Far From Home is about to release. So it's like, it didn't feel very what's the right word? It didn't feel very it felt very exploitative for me anyways. Exploitative to have all these news come up during that time. So now that Disney was able to negotiate a 25% share, I think, and I might not be right with this. This is the confusing part, and able to negotiate one additional movie for Spider-Man to appear in an MCU movie. I think that was their terms, and good on them, I guess, and for the fans to be able to see Spider-Man, the third Spider-Man movie being produced by Marvel Studios, and Spider-Man appearing in another MCU movie down the line. I think that's what it's supposed to mean. I think. Okay, that's pretty much in terms of movies, I guess, because there isn't really much going on these days, unless you're talking about Oscar-worthy stuff, but I think those are best suited for somebody else and not me. Alright, what else? What else in news? Okay, before we head on, what else is there before we head on into the big one? Borderlands 3 selling 5 million copies in 5 days. Borderlands 3, why is this a big news? Is because what happened prior to release is that Borderlands 3 has exclusivity with Epic Games Store. It's no longer on Steam, and it went to Epic Games Store, and it's exclusive on Epic Games Store. And obviously a lot of people will tell you, you know what, screw Epic Games Store, because let me double check this. Sells 5 million copies. Okay, it might be what is this? Now that I'm reading this, it is very disingenuous, I feel, the news that I put it. It could be that mix of console plus PC version. But yeah. Okay, 2K says 70% of consumers who bought the game in the first 5 days did so digitally. And sales of the PC version of the game through Epic Games Store have been particularly strong. Okay, so for me, I think I was a bit, I would say that I was bamboozled by the news, because, you know what, I thought it was 5 million copies on Epic Games Store, but it might not be. So, yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna touch too much onto this, because, there's a lot of hoo-ha going about the game with the CEO of of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford and all these things. And I'm not gonna talk about that. And for me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Borderlands. I was a huge fan of Borderlands 1, but I think 2 and the pre-sequel were very, very similar to each other that I got bored really fast. And probably I wouldn't be so bored if I had friends to play with, but that's neither here or there. Okay, so moving on to the big one for this week, which was State of Play from PlayStation. And there is, of course, Inside Xbox during that day as well, which, yeah, that was a very, I don't know. Both were underwhelming to say the least. Alright, so State of Play. I'm gonna skip the Inside Xbox stuff because I think that happens every month. And was there anything big coming from that? I don't remember. Oh, xCloud, the streaming service, I think, for streaming service. xCloud. Look that up. I should actually have looked that up, but my bad. So State of Play, third one, the past two coming in March and May of 2019. So I think it's happening that's getting later and later. Every few months. It's not like a Nintendo Direct, which happens every month. Well, it feels like Nintendo Direct happens every month, and Inside Xbox, which also happens every month. State of Play has been not the best way to. For me, I think, I have a PlayStation 4, I have a Switch, let's just say that off the bat, and I like to play games on PC as well. State of Play has not been the I would say, like, the best thing to light a fire for someone who wants to play more games. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if that's the right way of wording this, because that's a terrible way of wording it, actually. Yeah, I would say, like, it is not a good way for someone who is very interested in games, who wants to play more games, and looking at the games that come out from State of Play, and you're like, huh. And Sony has been very quiet over the past few months, as they've been saying that, we don't have anything to show, and like they skipped E3 this year. There was a lot of things to show from TGS, but again, State of Play coming at this point of time. We just had TGS, we just had Gamescom and all these things. So a lot of the big news would have been announced prior to State of Play. So by the time this is here, I think a lot of people were already expecting a lot of stuff from Sony. But sad to say that even then, it was still, even with the lowered expectations, to still manage to be such a lackluster event. Video, it's not even an event, sorry, it's just like a video, is even much more disappointing than it could be. So the state of play is one thing, and which I will not like. I don't know what Sony is thinking. I think they're trying to emulate Nintendo Direct, but doing a bad job with it. And also, they don't really have a lot of first-party games compared to Nintendo, and a lot of the games that they would have to show are most likely going to be third-party. Not third-party, sorry. They're going to be third-party, and they're also going to be coming out on other people's systems as well. So they don't have anything to really push for themselves besides the first-party games and VR games. Right. That was like, yeah. So going through the list of games coming out, there is the first one that came, on State of Play was Humanity. Humanity is going to be by Enhance, the guys behind, I think, Rez and Tetris Effect. Both great games, and they obviously Well, I don't think this is by Enhance. I think this is in collaboration with Enhance. Somebody else is doing Humanity, and I don't have the direct. I have to see the video honestly, but I'm not gonna play the video right now. Yeah, it's a game co-developed by Enhance, so you know that it's gonna be audibly and visually different compared to a lot of games out there. But gameplay wise, it felt very Lemmings like, by the look of it, meaning that you had tons of people. It's like a modern day Lemmings, I feel, from the looks of it. You had like tons of people who I guess you have to shepherd across from one end to another end, from some place to a goal or something like that. And looking at the gameplay, there are people who have weapons firing at them and all that, and it was very like, okay, all right. I'm not a huge fan of Lemmings, but okay. Then after that was Watam. No, it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare first, and I think that it showed more of the story mode, so Captain Price and things like that. Isn't Captain Price dead? I honestly stopped I stopped Call of Duty games since okay, I played Infinite. No, I didn't play Infinite. I played Advanced Warfare because of the story. But I didn't play Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's alright. But but seeing a lot of the ways, well, right now it's more rumors because the game is not out yet. But looking at the news that's coming from it and all that people are saying that the game is very loot heavy, as in when you level up, you get a loot box and stuff like that. I think that pushes a lot of people away, especially people who are fans of the Call of Duty series, where I think, for me right now, I think I would still prefer the old Modern Warfare where it was like whenever you level up with a weapon, you unlock something. It was a reason to level up because it was a way to unlock new weapons, parts, blah blah blah, and all that things. But if it was a loot drop, and these are just rumors, so I don't want to spend too much time on rumors because it's neither here or there until it's actually confirmed. But yeah, if that's the case, then I feel a bit disappointed because it will be similar to Overwatch. So unless the game is going to give you all the weapons up front and just gonna give you cosmetic through the loot boxes, I feel that, yeah, okay. But single player looks alright. I mean, I've not played a single player Call of Duty in a very long time, and it's because coming out every year makes it difficult to follow because none of my friends actually play Call of Duty, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on something that I will finish within a month and never play again. So yeah, it's a difficult proposition for me to buy a Call of Duty game because I don't have anyone to play multiplayer with. So I would feel very wasteful if I did get it and I don't play the multiplayer, which I don't want to play because if it's and Call of Duty World War II didn't exactly set the world on fire as well as Battlefield 5 also was not doing well. So a lot of first person shooters, I feel, I'm a bit first person shooter out at this point, unless Halo were to come to PS4, which I don't think is gonna happen. Which is why Destiny, tomorrow Destiny is coming in, and I'm like, yeah, Destiny 2, New Light. Okay, after Call of Duty is Watam, the new game by the director of Nobi Nobi Boy and Katamari Damacy. No idea what's going on. Looking at it is like, wow, okay. I would say it's very colorful. It's very, enticing to see compared to all the other games that was announced that day. It was like the only one with color. Okay, that is not fair. Civilization 6 had color, but that was something that already came on from other systems. But to see a game that is colorful, that is not about killing. I'm not sure if it has poop in it, but if it's a digital game that comes out and it's fairly priced, I think the announcement it's gonna come out around Christmas time. So that's one I'm gonna be looking out for. Then we had the news that I think VR games. So VR games, one of them was LA Noire, VR case files. So this time you can actually look up to the face of the people acting really, really weird. I don't know. Maybe because I need to actually finish the game, but the first person to actually look at a guy telling their lies, hopefully they would include hand gestures and all these things as well. But this game always had that weird history with it, with Team Bondi and stuff like that, which people, they were overworked and they were underpaid and everything like that, and the game came out and they were not credited. It's like a weird history for me to keep seeing LA Noire keep being sold, and I wonder what the original developers, are they even getting royalties for this game? I don't think so. Then we had a show after LA Noire. We had a bit of a montage of VR games. There was a spy one that was quite interesting, and I think it's very interesting to see a lot of VR games being daring enough to have movement in the game as well. That it was not just, I sit in a corner or I sit in a specific spot and then I'm gonna shoot around. That spy game actually had you moving up and down, stuff like that. So that's interesting to see how far people have learned to deal with VR and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see them move forward with that. And then we have we have the one that I'm more interested in, which is Space Channel 5. That's a game that I was very interested since young, because like Dreamcast and all this time, Sega, I'm a Sega fan, and you had like the PS2 version, you had the Dreamcast version, the arcade. Was it arcade? No, it was the Dreamcast. Then you had the PS2 version. Then I think the PS3 that was one, and now we have a really high res PSVR version. The gameplay is still not the most complex. Like it's basically Simon Says, but ooh la la and shooting aliens and stuff like that, and Michael Jackson. But if it's a VR and looks cool, why not? After the VR stuff, I think these two came quite close to each other, I think. So I'm not gonna try to put them in order. Civilization 6 coming to PS4 with all the expansions. That's great. Would love to see a Civ Rev 2, but I think the developed Sid Meier, the Firaxis, I think 2K, Civilization 2K. I think they are confident enough in their ability to have gameplay console controls in a Civ game. Okay, fine. We don't need a Civ Rev 2 anymore. Medieval, the remake's still coming this year. Announced that there was a live short-lived demo. Because he's a skeleton and all that. I tried it out. It's alright. It's still medieval. I mean now. Okay. Controls suck. Camera controls suck in this game. I want to be, because it's not out yet, but camera controls in this game suck. It's very slow. I don't know if it's a sensitivity problem or if they just ported the code for the camera with the regular version. It's very slow. The camera angles, I cannot get used to it. Moving up and down the camera just to get a better view of the map, the layout of the play area is very both not sensitive enough and also very slow and just unwieldy. So it just made it feel very unpolished in a sense, because this isn't a new game. I know that you spend a lot of time doing a lot of, the development with the graphics and to bring it over and to improve certain things with the game, but the camera was really bad for me. I don't know, maybe someone else could have a better experience with that, but for me, it's like camera was pretty not good at all. Okay, last two, limited edition Death Stranding PS4 bundle. So you have a black and white PS4 Pro with the hands, the oily hands sticking onto the PS4, and you had a yellow clear controller, which I think is supposed to be that the baby the holder where you put the babies in. Interesting color. That's all I'll put it. Interesting color. Okay, big news for this state of play: The Last of Us Part 2, and got an announced date of February 21st, 2020, which I think is the same day. Let me check now. I think it's the same day as Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's right. Animal Crossing New Horizons is coming out on March 20th. Okay, fine, fair enough. Don't really care then. I mean, next year, beginning of next year is packed. You have Yakuza 7, you have The Last of Us Part 2, you have Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm missing something. But yeah, it's like, this is not small games. Most of these are huge ass games. And and I guess, one main reason I think for them to announce it then is because I have a feeling, this is my gut feeling, that we're gonna hear about the PS5 in March, either March or April. If it's gonna launch next year, let's just say if it's gonna launch next year, I have a feeling that they will announce it in earliest February, latest April, because once May hits, that's E3 period, and it's like, no, you're supposed to start, getting people to play the games. So, The Last of Us Part 2 did not feel that they needed Part 2. I'm still playing the multiplayer mode from Part 1. Not done yet. Haven't gotten trophies, all of them yet. I did not like the premise of the game. Yeah, the revenge story, I think, is a little bit played out, and I think if this is true, trying to collect my thoughts here, if this is true, a lot of people were saying that it might be a red herring, but I hope so. But if this is how it starts out, and they kill, because you say it's a revenge story, so I don't think it's gonna be something in between. So I'm gonna assume that they kill off Ellie's love interest in the game, and if that is the point where they push push her into action because they killed the love interest, I'm gonna say that's a bit not a good thing. Main reason is because I think if we're gonna have a prominent lesbian relationship, I think that's right. If they're gonna have a prominent lesbian relationship and then kill off one of them, yeah, that's sucky, I would say. And also a lot of games that kill off, someone that they are close to, usually a female character, there is a trope for it, and that's fridging. So if they're gonna fridge one of Ellie's main love interests to push her into doing something, no, ton of games do that, ton of movies do that. Don't kill off, don't harm or kill off a character just so that they motivate a character to do something. Don't do that anymore. Besides that, I think looking at the game, it looks very pretty. Stealth is, I think, expanded a little bit more. I I didn't play Uncharted 4 yet, so I don't know how far they've actually used what they learned from that for this. So it might already be in Uncharted 4. I don't know. But stealth, and then one of the movement options for Ellie has is similar to Nathan Drake now, I guess. Being able to climb up walls, jump, and all these things. I'm on the fence on that. I would prefer those two games to not be anyway similar, but okay, fine. Because you had a climbing mechanic in one. It was not like you couldn't climb the walls, but to jump as well is like, let's hope they use it sparingly so that it doesn't bring any comparisons to Uncharted 4. How about that? Okay, dogs are in it. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about The Last of Us 2. I like the first one. Second one, I will have to see. Again, I really wish I could tell you that, I'm really wish that I'm excited for a lot of games out there these day and age, but I'm not. And one of the main reasons why is that sometimes you don't fit with what the game is about or what you want from the game. Like these days, I would prefer games that I can get in straight away, action, then I can quit immediately without moving from one point to another. But yeah, it's again, it is my own personal thing, not speaking of the game quality. So if the game was really good and the story is very good, I think yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's try it out. But I'm fine with that. Okay. At this point, because this is just the first episode, I think we don't have any questions or letters or things like that. So I'm gonna just end it by telling you guys where you can find me. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick Tien, NickThien. Same for Instagram. Patreon, I do have one, but I'm not gonna use it yet. What else am I doing? I don't really stream so much. Still trying to figure out where I fit in, either in Twitch, YouTube, whatever. But right now, yeah, this is about it. And thank you for listening to the first. Wow, that's a 1 hour long episode. And I hope you don't get. Yeah, it's wow, 1 hour long. I expected 20-30 minutes, and it's 1 hour long. See how much I can talk just by myself. Okay, that is not. Oh, speaking of by myself, if anyone out there is interested to joining me on this podcast, talk about games, talk about geek culture and stuff like that. If you're interested in coming in, yeah, do let me know. Hit me up, DM me on Twitter or something like that, and we'll try and see if we can get something going on. Usually I will do this on Wednesday afternoons because that's my off day, and from that, hopefully can do a bit more of this with somebody else, talking to somebody else and not just me, because yeah, I do get it. It's a bit tiring to listen to one person go on for close to 2 hours, an hour and a half. It's also tiring for the person to do it alone as well. But yeah, if anybody's interested, just do let me know. And with that, next episode will be very soon. If you're listening to this, the next episode will be out in 2 days because today is Monday, and the next episode will be out on Wednesday. So you won't have to go long for that. But the only thing I'm afraid of is that I won't have much to talk about. But with that, I will also say Destiny 2 preload coming out soon. Shadowkeep is coming out soon, so I might have something to talk about with that. Might be a whole Destiny 2 episode. So that might either push a lot of people away or get a lot of people in. I don't know. Okay. And I don't have a music to go off on, so see you guys, and hope to see you guys soon. Bye bye.